This is the best TBR of the year. Hello everyone, it's Belle. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hello, and if you've come back, thank you so much. Today, you guys, we are choosing my February TBR. I love these videos, and like I was saying in the intro, any of the like seasonal festive TBRs are my absolute favorites to pick. We are obviously going into February, which is the month of love, okay? It is the month of love, and I cannot wait to pick this TBR. I have decided today, as you would have seen in the title and in the thumbnail, to let a spinning wheel choose my TBR. So essentially what I've done for this Valentine's Day is I have created a bunch of Valentine's Day themed prompts to put in the wheel, and then the wheel will randomly select one, and then based off that prompt we will try to find a book from my shelf that best matches. So I am really excited to get into this one. We have a few books that I'm already planning to read this month, but we'll get right on into it. So you guys know the drill. Let's get comfy, let's get cozy, and let's get right on into this video. Okay, so before we get started, you guys know I am a statistics girly, okay? I love to track my data, I love to reflect on my data, so I thought what we could add as an addition to this year's TBR videos is to actually reflect on the TBR that we chose the month prior. So before we get into February, I guess I wanted to give you guys a few quick stats as to how my TBR went last month. So you guys may have seen that I read 16 books last month, which I did put in my reading wrap up. You can go check that out, I'll link it down below. And we chose 10 books for the TBR. Out of the 16 books that I read last month, 12 of them were actually off of my physical TBR, which is such a win because that is a goal of mine this year, is to obviously get through my physical TBR. I've said countless times now, I am doing 75 booked, and there is a rule in that challenge that you have to go on a book buying ban during the 75 days. So that has helped me so much to cut down my TBR, but to actually make sure I'm choosing books that have been here for a while. And then out of the 10 books that I actually chose for the TBR last month in my January TBR video, I only read 4, but I still think that that is a win. The fact that I still read 4 books off my TBR, because I'm such a mood reader, and usually I don't even, like some months I'll maybe read 1 or 2 books off of my TBR. So I count that as a win. Before we spin this little wheel, there are a couple of things I need to go through. So first of all, there's a couple of books that I already have planned to read for this month. So the first one is actually Wolf by Paisley Hope. This is my book club pick for February. Everyone wanted to read a dark romance for Valentine's Day, so this is what y'all ended up picking. If you guys want to join in and read for this month, I will link everything down in my description box. We have a lot of fun over on Patreon. I love Paisley Hope. You guys know I'm a massive fan of her Silver Pines Ranch series as well. I'm very excited to see what her dark romance is going to give us. So that is the first one on the TBR. And the second one is actually the only new release that I have my eye on for February, and it is And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. You guys know I adore B.K. Borison, but in particular, I loved First Time Caller last year. It was like one of my first 5-star reads of the year. It was perfect for Valentine's Day, and this one actually comes out a couple of days before again, so I think it comes out on the 10th of February. This is set in that same little world as First Time Caller, so I'm really excited. I think this is maybe a When Harry Met Sally inspired story, just as First Time Caller was a Sleepless in Seattle, but I'm not too sure. I will have to double check when I'm editing this video. So those are the 2 that I already have on the February TBR that I got my eye on, and then of course I'm reading for book club. So that is those 2. And I also like to spin 2 little wheels, I guess, to pick books off of my TBR that I have to read. So what I have here is my 26 books that I want to read in 2026. I feel like a lot of us make these lists every single year. I'm actually so proud of myself, you guys. Last month I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books off of this list, which is like pretty much more than I read in the entire year of my 25 in 2025 last year. So I'm really proud of myself. There are 26 books here, so what I'm going to do is get Siri to pick a random number. Hey Siri, give me a number between 1 and 26. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well we've read enough from a gentleman, so it's going to need to go again. Give me a number between 1 and 26. 11. Ooh, perfect for Valentine's Day. Let me grab it. It is Love Arranged by Lauren Asher, which is the 3rd book in the Lakefront Billionaires. I did not get around to this last year, and it is definitely a priority of mine. I do believe this this is a marriage of convenience, and you guys know that is one of my like god tier tropes. I don't think I've read a marriage of convenience that I haven't loved, so I'm very excited to add this one to the list. And then, which I have a second spinning wheel for on my laptop here, it's basically every single book that I have on my physical TBR, so we're gonna spin this and see which one it gives me to have this month. Interesting. Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. This is Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. This is an MM historical romance, which I've had sitting on my shelf for God knows how long. I think at least 2 years it's been sitting around. I almost unhauled this during my big unhaul at the beginning of the year, but there was something in my head that was like, no, you should keep it. You guys know I love historical romance. It's actually going to be like perfect for Bridgerton month as it's coming in. So I'll read you guys the back. It says, Valentine Leighton, the Duke of Malvern, has twin problems. Literally. It was always his father's hope that Valentine would marry Miss Arabella Tarlington, but unfortunately, too many novels at an unimpressionable age have caused her to grow up romantic. So romantic that a marriage of convenience will not do, and after Valentine's proposal, she flees into the night, determined to never set eyes on him again. Arabella's twin brother, Mr. Bonny, has also grown up romantic and fully expects Valentine to ride out after Arabella and prove to her that he's not the cold-hearted cat he seems to be. Despite copious misgivings, Valentine finds himself on a pell-mell chase to Dover with Bonny by his side. Bonny is unreasonable, overdramatic, annoying, and beautiful, question mark? And being with him makes Valentine question everything he thought he knew about himself, about love, and even about which Tarlington he should be pursuing. I'm down. I'm so here. So thank you for choosing that little Mr. Spinny Wheel. Now that those are out of the way, I think it's about time we turn to our Valentine's wheel. Okay, so considering we already have 4 books on the TBR, including And Now Back to You, I'm gonna go for 10 again, because like you guys saw, I read quite a few books last month, which means we're gonna do around 6 or 7 prompts. Guys, is anybody else fully forever plagued by the 6-7 of it all? Because I don't understand why. When I don't even get involved, it's ruined my brain. Anyways, listen to that spinny wheel. It says, a book with love in the title. Well, if I didn't just pull Love Arranged out, that would have been absolutely perfect. All right, let me go to my shelf and let's have a look. I'm sure there are many, many, many romance books with love in the title, so let's see what piques my interest. You guys will not believe the coincidence of what I just pulled off my shelves. I only had 2 books in my romance TBR, besides that one obviously, that have the word love in them, and both of them are by Ashley Poston. Like, what are the odds that they are the only 2 books that I have and they're both by the same author? That's just nuts. So we have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, or we have A Novel Love Story. Now, I have had A Novel Love Story sitting on the shelf longer than Sounds Like Love, and it's so interesting because I feel like I've heard very mixed things about both. So I think I'll read the back of both of them and just see which one sounds the best to me. So A Novel Love Story says, have you ever found yourself lost in a good book? Literally, Eileen loves a good love story, the fictional kind anyways. After all, imaginary men don't break your heart. So true, bestie. But when Eileen's car breaks down en route to her annual book club retreat, she finds herself in Eloriton, a town where every meet is cute, the rain always comes in the afternoon, and the bookshop is always curated with impeccable taste. It feels too good to be true, because Eloriton is the setting of her favorite romance series, and Eileen is sure she must be here to bring the town its storybook ending. But there's one character she can't place, the grumpy bookshop owner with mint green eyes and an irritatingly sexy mouth. He does not want Eileen to finish this story, but how else can she find her happily ever after? That actually sounds so cute. I like that one so far. Otherwise, Sounds Like Love is Joni Lark wants to create the melodies that get stuck in your head and in your heart. Her hometown has always given her surf, sand, and inspiration. But when her parents decide to close the family music venue, Joni's life begins to fall off key. She couldn't possibly write another song until a melody comes to her, half-formed and with an imagined voice she can't forget. But when the very real, very aggravating man behind the voice shows up in Vienna Shores, Joni can no longer deny their inexplicable telepathic connection. To get out of each other's heads, they'll have to finish the song haunting them both. But there's just one problem, they can't agree on anything. And if they don't change their tune, it might just end in heartbreak first. Interesting. I actually think A Novel Love Story just sounds more up my alley at the moment. It also just sounds really cozy and romantic. It gives me the vibe of like First Time Caller by B.K. Borison in terms of the like cozy whimsicalness of it all. So a book with love in the title is going to be A Novel Love Story. Do you guys see that? Blue again. I can't even make a pretty pink TBR when I'm trying to be pink for anyways. Okie dokes, let's spin her again and see what we get. Oh, yay! Okay, it says for me to reread a favorite romance. Now, the reason that I put this prompt in is because I do want to reread a romance and like some of my favorite books this year. I think it's really important to do that. And I thought the perfect time to reread a romance would be during Valentine's month. So I have a book in mind. Guys, here is my problem. Here is my problem. Okay, so this year I put like 3 books aside that I really wanted to reread. So one of them was An Offer from a Gentleman before Bridgerton, obviously, because I wanted to refresh the story. The Hunger Games, I want to reread the whole trilogy, and also Heartless by Elsie Silver. So immediately when I just saw this, I was like, oh, we're gonna pick out Heartless. But then I reread An Offer from a Gentleman and I was like, oh, this is like not as good as Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. And then I was like, I want to reread Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Let me just go and get my options. Stop ranting to the people, Bella. You guys are all gonna put me in jail because you're gonna say like, Belle, stop rereading the same books. I have my options, okay? I have my options. So, like I said, Heartless, Elsie Silver, which is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. It's one of my comfort reads. Like, I love this book so much. I have only ever read it once, so I am scared to reread it, but it is one of my god tier like Roman Empire books. Now, you guys might have seen last year, I reread my favorite like 5-star romance books. I did a full spoiler reading vlog. It was almost 2 hours long, and I was kind of sad that I didn't get to reread this one in that session, so that's why I like prioritized it for this year. For those who don't know, this is a single dad and the nanny, small town. He's a cowboy. He needs like a babysitter for his son over the summer break, and he ends up hiring his brother's fiance's best friend Willa, who is this wild, fiery, larger than life redhead who comes in like a wrecking ball, like a hurricane. Okay, maybe I have to reread this because that was my option 1. But then I also had Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I reread last year, but it is just so good. Like I'm sorry, like I can't not give this book flowers. Do you know what I mean? I love it so much. I love it so much, but I don't want to reread it as badly. This is my comfort book. And do you know what is going to end up happening? I'm going to watch Bridgerton season 4 on Thursday. I'm filming this at the end of January, just so you guys know, just before part 1 of Bridgerton season 4 comes out. I'm going to watch Bridgerton on Thursday and I'm going to be like, yeah, that was cute, but nothing gives me the vibe like these two. Nothing. Like I'm putting it out here right now because you guys are going to see this in the future. I'm telling you right now, nothing is going to give me the buzz like watching the carriage scene for the first time. I know what the cliffhanger for part 1 is because I've read the book, and I'm like, I'm sorry, nothing's gonna give me the buzz like them. So I know what's gonna happen is I'm gonna finish the show and I'm gonna wanna reread this. So I'm like, should I just save myself the delusion now and just put it on the, yeah, I'm going to. But I think I'm also gonna put this on there. 2 rereads in 1 month. Honestly, who cares? It's my life and I wanna reread it. So look at that stack of blue books. For those who missed the January TBR, I was saying that this year, all I'm seeing in my little like psychic abilities is like the color blue for 2026. I just have blue everywhere. It's like my vibe. And then when I created my January TBR, all of the books were blue, like unintentionally. And look what is happening again. Blue books. For my romance reread, I've got them on the shelf there, okay? They're on the stack. Okay, prompt number 3. Get me away from my rereads. Honestly, guys, quality over quantity. If I don't read any new books ever again, like I literally don't care. Okay, it's chosen another one, which is, a Romantasy with forbidden love. Yes, I feel like we need a Romantasy. We're very, very, very romance heavy and I might get sick of it. So let's go have a look at my shelf and see if we can find any that have a forbidden love. I feel like it's quite a common trope in Romantasies to have the forbidden romance trope. So let's have a squiz. Okay, so I've got 2 options again. One of these is actually on my 26th of 2026 and it fits perfectly and I totally forgot about it, and it would help me finish a series that I'm in the middle of. First one I have is The Rebel Witch, which is obviously the second book in the Heartless Hunter Crimson Moth duology. I don't know what the duology is called. It's fine. I read the Crimson Moth for book club at the end of 2025 and I really loved it, and for some reason I just got like so swept up in the end of the year that I forgot to read book 2, so I definitely need to. Now I can't say what book 2 is going to be, but the concept of book 1 is a forbidden love between a witch hunter and a witch. So that is obviously going to continue into book 2. So this fits the mold pretty spot on. Otherwise, the other one that I found is The Order of Masks. This is by Elena Bell Chambers. I got this in a PR box last year. I actually need to find the mask because it came with a mask and I literally made a video of me walking around the house being like, I'm gonna save this for Bridgerton season 4. Anyways, let me read you the back because it pretty much gave that. It says, in the cutthroat Revillian court, alliances shift in only a heartbeat, and seduction is the prelude to murder. Only one thing is certain, not everyone will survive. Circus performer Mira has spent her life on the run. She's determined to secure her future by competing in the deadly trials and winning a place in one of the 3 magical royal orders. Princess Scarlet is fighting to withstand her half-brother's sinister ambitions and seize power. Mira is the opportunity she's been waiting for, a dangerous outsider poised to cleave apart the very foundations of the court. As Mira and Scarlet navigate a glittering world of magic, court intrigue, and forbidden romances, they must decide if they are co-conspirators or rivals in a bloody bid for the throne. Will they sacrifice everything, even their own lovers, for power and revenge? Sounds so good. Love, 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 love. I also love books like this, which funnily enough reminds me of Caraval, where you have 2 female leads. Does that make sense? So like you're following 2 different girls with 2 different love stories. I absolutely love that idea because that's what Caraval was like. So it's really fun to see another Romantasy sort of take that. Both of these sound so good. Which one has a better first line? This is how I've been deciding nowadays, guys. By the time I turned 16, I'd lived many lives. That's the first one. Or the Rebel Witch says, this is boring too. Gideon tugged at the jacket of his stolen uniform. Gideon, you ain't giving me nothing, boy. Maybe I should finish this duology. So I think we'll put this one on the TBR, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get through the backlog, finish off on some series, because then it can open up, you know, some spots for me to start a new series. So for prompt number 3, a Romantasy with forbidden love, let's finish this duology. Let's spin for prompt number 4. Let's have a look. We have a marriage of convenience. Guys, I'm actually winning. The romance TBR loves me, okay? The Valentine's TBR loves me. Now, like I said when I was talking about love arranged, marriage of convenience does it for me every single time. And I don't think I've hated one marriage of convenience, especially because usually it is coupled with my second favorite thing, the micro trope, my wife. My God, I love this. I love it so much. So let me have a look and see what marriage of conveniences I have on my shelf. Whether they be romantasy or fantasy, whether they be romantasy or romance, I will have to see. You guys are gonna know that I love this trope because I literally only had one marriage of convenience on my TBR. That's how much I've been reading them, you guys know. The lucky last marriage of convenience on my TBR, other than a marriage in Vegas, and this sort of like conjoins the two because I do have a sports romance marriage in Vegas type of vibe. The Partner Plot. This is by Christina Forrest. I have had this book for at least a year and I have tried to put it on so many TBRs. So I'm gonna make this a goal for myself. I have to read this book this month, okay? I have to read it because I've put it on so many TBRs and I've never once gotten to it. So whilst this is a marriage in Vegas, which is another one of my favorite things ever, I do believe it's going to turn into a marriage of convenience. Like they'll stay together, like Play Along by Liz Tom 40, like similar vibes. It's going to be a marriage of convenience. So let's read the back together. Violet's career might be flourishing, but her life is in shambles. After surviving a public breakup with her ex-fiance, Violet is now determined to focus on her career, but the universe has other ideas. Xavier Wright did not expect to run into his high school girlfriend on a trip to Vegas, but in a bid to laugh it off, they decide to celebrate together. The two party the night away without a care in the world. That is until the next morning when they wake up next to each other with rings on their fingers. Will their impulsive Vegas wedding give them a chance to start again, or will they go down in flames? I literally can't wait. So like I said, I didn't have any like true marriage of conveniences where it's like stated on the back that they enter it for a specific reason. This is as close as we're gonna get. So we're adding a pink book to this TBR, okay? The Partner Plot is on there. This TBR is getting massive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's okay, we're still gonna do at least 2 more prompts. So let's spin that wheel. Okay, we have a book with red or pink on the cover. Okay, this definitely opens up for a lot more, thank God. And we're gonna break up that blue going on. Let me have a look. There's so many options. I'm literally looking at so many. Should we look at a thriller? You guys know I just love thrillers, and I know that like it's not particularly like Valentine's themed, but your girl is gonna need something to break it up because I'm gonna get sick of all the romance at some point, right? So let me have a look. Okay, so like I said, I've decided to go for some thrillers because you guys know they are my cup of tea at the moment. Like I'm absolutely just loving them. And to break up the month too, I'm definitely probably gonna need some refreshers too. So yes, okie dokie artichoke. Let's have a look at what I pulled out. So the first one that I pulled out is a book called We Live Here Now, which is very similar to We Used to Live Here. I almost said that, but the concepts are entirely different, which is really cool. So I actually bought this recently with a little gift voucher and it only just arrived. arrived. Like, it took so long to get here. I bought it prior to starting 75 booked, so don't come for me. What I'm trying to say is it's a newer release. So let's read the back together. It says actually on the front, your dream home comes with a big problem. You guys know these are my favorite type of horror books, spooky books, thriller books. So let's read the back. It says, if their new home doesn't break them, their secrets will. I'm already in. I'm already sold. When Emily wakes from her coma following an incident that nearly kills her, she finds herself agreeing to move from London to the wild moors of Devon with her husband Freddie. A fresh start is exactly what their marriage needs. Side note, what happened to the iCarly revival? Because it ended on such a cliffhanger, and as somebody who was a Creddy fan, I was like living for seeing adult Carly and Freddie. I know there's a movie apparently in the works, but anyways, doesn't matter. As their car pulls up to the Larkin Lodge, their dream country home, Emily's heart sinks. Outside, everything is covered in an icy grey mist. Inside, the air is filled with dust and abandonment. And then she finds an empty suite on the second floor, a room so bleak, so cold, so void of anything good. Something bad happened in here. Someone died in here. Why can't Freddie feel the darkness that stirs within these walls? There's something wrong with the house, this strange house where the floorboards creak at night, the doors rattle, the windows slam shut, the taps turn on and off and on and off. But if the house is hiding something, so are Emily and Freddie. I'm in. Like, I'm already so in. I'm at the restaurant. I'm not even paying for the bill for the next 75 years. The second one that I had was Love Mum, which is by Ileana Zander, which I have had for a long time. I bought this when I was friends with someone, and they really loved this book. But now I feel like I'm just not reading it out of spite, because no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. All the thrillers that this person recommended were not good. Anyways, let's read the back together. It says, Mackenzie Casper has always lived in the shadow of her famous mother, a best-selling author whose dark, twisted tales have garnered fans across the world. When her mother dies in a tragic accident, many fans are left grieving, but Mackenzie is left with more questions than she bargains for when investigators start asking questions. What if what happened wasn't an accident? What if it was murder? Then a mysterious envelope arrives containing pages from her mother's diary. Want to know a secret? Love Mum. What Mackenzie reads leaves her in shock. Then comes the next letter. Mackenzie quickly learns that her mother's path to fame was littered with sinister lies and dark secrets. Sometimes fame is worth killing for. But Mackenzie is about to find out that there are worse things than murder. Now, let's read this one. This one sounds way better. Like, this one just sounds like average and boring, and this one sounds fun. So, book number 5 on the TBR. Let's do it. Okay, that TBR is looking ginormous, so I think we're just gonna spin one more time. One more time. Oh, we already had that, a book with red or pink on the cover. Spin it again. Aww, a friends to lovers, I've put in brackets, the superior trope. And it really is. I'm sorry. I will take friends to lovers over enemies to lovers every single day. It eats, it's my personal opinion, it's my personal favorite. Go and argue with a wall. Let me go have a look and see what I can find. So I only found 2. It's fine, guys. You obviously can tell that I love this trope and I don't have many left sitting on my shelf. So the first one that I pulled out was Last Time We Met, and this is by Emily Houghton. So I've had this for so many years and this should take priority. I believe this is a past, present, friends to lovers, and second chance. Now I would have immediately put this on the TBR, except that you guys have sort of maybe noticed that I've not been enjoying the second chance trope as much as I used to. Like, I used to quite like it, but now I'm kind of like, if you guys get together and you break up and you can't communicate in a way that like stops that breakup from happening, you shouldn't be with that person. Does that make sense? But if it's second chance in terms of like right person, wrong time, and they maybe had a smooch but they were never together type of vibe, that is different. So this says, one promise. Age 13, best friends Eleanor and Finn are inseparable. Those are your best friends. Convinced it will always be this way, they make a pact to go to university together, always live near each other, and if they're both single at 35, they'll get married. I'm so in. 2 decades. Eleanor and Finn haven't spoken in 15 years. Life has run away from them and they're both far from where they dreamt of being all those years ago. Can they still keep their word? It takes tragic circumstances for Finn to come back into Eleanor's life, but everything has changed since the last time they met. Is it too late to mend their friendship, or is there a chance they can keep some of the promises they made? I just think that's gonna be so cute, guys. Okay, so that's option 1. Or I have Just for the Summer, which I finally found a physical copy of. Now, according to my TikToking, this is friends to lovers. It says, to find their soulmates, all they need is 4 dates, a kiss, and a breakup. Justin has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. When a woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They'll date, break up, and cancel out each other's curses. Emma hadn't planned that her next assignment as a traveling nurse would be in Minnesota, but she and her best friend agree that dating Justin is too good an opportunity to pass up, especially when they get to rent an adorable cottage on a private island on Minnesota. Oh guys, I'm here. I actually want to read this instead. It's supposed to be a quick fling just for the summer, but when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than what they expected, including catching feelings for each other. What if this time fate has actually brought the perfect pair together? Here's my thing. These both sound so good, and I just read summer romance books, but like this one sounds so good. Which one has the best first line? That's what we're gonna do. Am I the a-hole for naming my ugly dog after my ex-best friend? It's this one. It's this one. It has to be. So the final book on the TBR is just for the summer. Okay, this is a pretty hefty TBR. So let's quickly rapid fire our way through them all because we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books, including the BK Borison one on this TBR, which I think is achievable considering I read 16 last month. So we have Wolfie by Paisley Hope. I don't know if this is Wolf or Wolfie. Like, why has it got a dot? Anyways, it doesn't matter. Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. We have Love Arranged by Lauren Asher, A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, Heartless. I'm so excited about that. We have The Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli, The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. We have We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinbrough. And finally, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Alrighty you guys, that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking through all the way to the end if you did. I really, really appreciate it. What are you guys planning to read in February? Are you going to be reading romances? Are you going to feel the Valentine's Day vibe? Or are you going to stick to your mood reading or your favorite genre? Like, what's your vibe? I'd love to know. And also, if you've read any of the books that I'm planning to read this month, tell me which one I should start with because there's just so many good options to choose from. I don't even know. As always, if you guys aren't already, you're more than welcome to follow me on my socials. I'll leave my handles on the screen and in the description box. And if you'd like to, you can like this video and subscribe to my channel and make sure that you are hitting that notification bell. That way you're notified each time a brand new video goes up. Thank you guys so much for stopping by again. I really, really appreciate it wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a lovely day or a lovely night, and I will see you all next time. Bye!